where many admire President Donald Trump, one rural farmer worshipped him like a god, praying to a life-size statue of the US president in his backyard every morning. At first everyone in the family thought he was mentally disturbed, but he kept at it and everyone eventually came around, said Vivek Bukka, a cousin of the farmer, Bussa Krishna. When Mr. Trump announced he had the coronavirus, it devastated Mr. Krishna. The farmer posted a tearful video on Facebook in which he said, "I feel very sad that my god, Trump, has contracted the coronavirus. I ask everyone to pray for his speedy recovery." He stopped eating to show solidarity with his idols suffering from COVID-19, his family said. He fell into a deep depression. On Sunday, the same day Mr. Trump recovered, he died of cardiac arrest. Bussa Krishna from Telangana, who made Trump's life-size statue and worshipped him, died today of heart attack. I spoke to him 2 days ago. We connected on FB a day. We did a story on him and he asked me to share story link. PWS just 32. He wished Trump good health and himself left this world. Crying face, pic.twitter.com/dziusxmrai. 4-leaf clover, Sapnamadan /4-leaf clover, at Sanamadam October 11, 2020. Mr. Krishna's devotion had made him into a minor celebrity, and he was the subject of some national headlines. His death made news across India. Mr. Bukka said his cousin had been physically fit and had no health problems or history of heart disease. There is no evidence linking Krishna's death to his fasting. There is no indication that the White House or Mr. Trump, who said he had recovered from the virus and felt powerful after being treated with a cocktail of drugs, was aware of his biggest fan in India. Many of the country's urban intellectuals dislike the US president, and he is regularly mocked on Indian social media platforms. But the president has support in other corners of Indian society. A February study by the Pew Research Center found that 56% of people surveyed in India said that Mr. Trump would do the right thing when it comes to world affairs, up from 16% when he was elected. Mr. Trump's popularity in some parts of India is striking because the cult of personality he has tried to cultivate, of an unapologetically brash figure leading the United States to a bright new future while espousing America first, mirrors how India's Prime Minister, Narendra Modi, projects himself to his own supporters. A Hindu priest seeks blessings from gods and to unite India and the United States of America against radical Islamic fanatics. Bussa Krishna, a widowed farmer in his 30s who lived in the village of Kon in the southern state of Telangana, had been a Mr. Trump devotee for about 4 years. He became a fan when the president appeared to him in a dream, his relatives said, and predicted that India's national cricket squad would beat its arch rival, Pakistan, in a match the next day. India won, Mr. Bukka said, and from that day he started worshipping Donald Trump. But the farmer also admired the president as a leader, said Mr. Bukka, a 25-year-old accountant who lives near the southern city of Hyderabad. His cousin did not speak English, and the local news outlets where he lived paid scant attention to US politics. So he relied on his cousin to translate articles and videos for him. Vemula Venkatout, Kon's village headman, said that the young farmer had also been drawn to Mr. Trump's straightforward ways and blunt speech. Neighbors did not know much about US politics and had no opinion of Mr. Trump, he added. But since Mr. Krishna was such a huge fan, they embraced his cause as a courtesy, even if it struck them as a little odd. As Mr. Krishna's devotion to Mr. Trump intensified, he began fasting every Friday in support, and he commissioned the construction of a shrine in his backyard with a life-size statue. Mr. Bukka said, he worshipped it with Hindu rituals for an hour or two each morning, as one might when praying to Krishna, Shiva, Ganesha or other gods in the Hindu pantheon. Farmer Bussa Krishna, 33, gives offerings to the statue of US President Donald Trump at his home in Hyderabad, India. One video of Mr. Krishna that is circulated widely online shows him performing a prayer ritual, or puja, before an altar that holds a picture of Mr. Trump. In another, he wears a t-shirt that reads Trump in white block letters as he pours water over the head of the statue, which is wearing a red tie and giving a thumbs up. The Trump statue has a garland of fresh flowers around its neck and a red tikak, a traditional symbol that is made of million or santal paste, and used in religious ceremonies, on its forehead. Mr. Krishna's creation of a statue in Mr. Trump's likeness is not unique. An architect built a giant wooden statue of Mr. Trump with vampire's teeth in Slovenia, the native country of the First Lady, Melania Trump. Some critics denounced it as a waste of wood. That statue's creator, Thomas Schlegel, an architect, had a clear vision and message in mind. I want to alert people to the rise of populism, and it would be difficult to find a bigger populist in this world than Donald Trump, he told Reuters. A life-size wooden sculpture of Mr. Trump near the town of Savnica in eastern Slovenia, where she grew up, was set on fire. The commissioning artist replaced it with a bronze statue. As for Mr. Krishna, he made a valiant attempt to meet his idol. He traveled to the U.S. Embassy in New Delhi before Mr. Trump's trip to India in February to try to arrange a meeting. Venkat, the village headman, said, "It's really sad that his dream never came true," he added. U.S. President Donald Trump and First Lady Melania Trump pose as they visit the Taj Mahal in Agra in February 2020. Trump later addressed a stadium packed with 100,000 cheering attendees in Ahmedabad, the heart of Modi's political home base. Mr. Krishna kept the faith until the end. When he learned of Mr. Trump's coronavirus diagnosis, he locked himself in his room, Mr. Booker said. "We tried to force him to eat, but he barely ate anything," he said. On Sunday, Mr. Krishna collapsed, and his relatives took him to the hospital. He was pronounced dead on arrival. Mr. Krishna is survived by his parents and his 7-year-old son. Venkat said villagers were discussing how best to maintain their neighbor's Trump shrine. Let's block ads. Why?
Show your love for him. Click the link in description. Thanks for watching.